joining us for news on What's Up Caribbean for Wednesday, March 18th, 2015. I'm Deanza Roberts. In the headlines, Barbados Secondary Teachers Union says teachers will no longer be marking SBAs unless CXC compensates them. A rise in employment in the Cayman Islands, but non-Caymanians outnumber the nationals. And Chaguaramas Development Authority board member axed over Facebook postings. The question is, did he or did he not make the postings? We'll be back with these and other developments, plus a look at sports after this break.
Hey, check it out.
When it gets cold, feels like the end. There's no place to go, you know I won't give in. No, I won't give in. Keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it.
In the news, President of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, the BSTU, Marianne Redmond, says it is time the Caribbean Examinations Council, the CXC, compensate the teachers in the region for their work on school-based assessment projects, that's the SBA. Addressing media in Barbados yesterday, a passionate president said the SBA as it stands is a burden and creates work for teachers who are not being compensated. Come this academic year, teachers who are under the BSTU will not be correcting any SBAs, she disclosed.
After trying very hard to arrange with CXC to meet with us, they met in November and they promised us a meeting in January. And after a resolution passed at our last AGM, we want the public of Barbados to understand that the Ministry of Education in Barbados has been made aware since May the 8th, 2014 of our resolution, which states that we will not be correcting CXC SBAs this academic year in the absence of CXC meeting with us and negotiating with us for compensation. When the SBAs are completed, they will be collected and passed on to the principals of the school. I do believe that the principals will pass them on to CXC, and CXC will pay persons to correct those SBAs.
She says the Caribbean Union of Teachers, the CTU, which represents 30 member organizations from over 20 territories in the Caribbean, has called on the CXC to compensate teachers for school-based assessment, since it is an additional responsibility for teachers. This call, according to a statement from the CTU, has gone unanswered. In news out of the Cayman Islands, that country's employment has grown by almost 5%, but non-Caymanians outnumber locals in jobs. Government released the latest labor force survey results yesterday, which shows that 18,127 Caymanians had work by the end of 2014, whereas 19,595 expatriates were employed in the Cayman Islands. The total workforce figure sat close to 37,723. According to the results, more than 1,500 Caymanians were out of work towards the end of last year, and 298 non-Caymanians were jobless. The unemployment rate clocked in at 4.7%. That's a dip from October 2013, which hovered around 6%. Member of the board of the Chaguaramas Development Authority, Jaishima Lelalhar Singh, has resigned with immediate effect after being called upon to do so by the Minister of Planning and Sustainable Development in Trinidad. The resignation was disclosed in a press statement issued by the ministry on Tuesday. Lelalhar Singh was axed as a result of comments he allegedly made in Facebook postings that date to April 2014. TV6 has been following the latest development, and we get more from them in this report.
48 hours, a conversation that took place less than a year ago, supposedly between Jaishima Lelalhar Singh and one Anthony McLeod, has created a furor on Facebook. During the conversation, someone with a picture that looks like Ladar Singh makes a racial remark to McLeod, and you are a stinking N-word used. Someone who purports to be Anthony McLeod hits back stating, you can say what you want, you still have to dead. The person who is allegedly Ladar Singh or someone pretending to be him fires back, and you will die as a low-class N-word used. Someone with the name Bastio Pandey said, Dear Jai Shima, please do not do anything to exacerbate the racial problem which has been the bane of this society for centuries. Speak your mind without being offensive, please. But as TV6 News was making inroads into the story, Minister of Planning Dr. Bo Tiwari in a text message confirmed to TV6 News that because of the statements allegedly made by Mr. Ladar Singh, he asked for Ladar Singh's resignation and he immediately complied. In a release later sent by the minister's office, Dr. Tiwari stated, over what can only be described as objectionable and reprehensible statements made on social media platform. The minister takes the position that such behavior is unacceptable in a civilized, multi-ethnic society such as ours, and this action is meant to make the point that divisive statements such as these will not be tolerated under any circumstances, regardless of situation.
That report from TV6. A gay rights activist is challenging the governments of Trinidad and Tobago and Belize to overturn a law that prevents gay people from entering their countries. The case has been brought by Maurice Tomilson, who was in court yesterday, March 17th, and was expected back today. Gay rights activist Tomilson is a prominent Jamaican and HIV activist and has taken his case to the Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ. He contests that the laws restrict his freedom of movement and breach his rights as a Caribbean community and common market national. Both governments dispute his submission. That's Rapper News. Up next, a look at sports. In sports, the West Indies Cricket Board has extended its warmest congratulations to former international umpire Basil Morgan, who was awarded the Order of Excellence, the island of Montserrat's second highest national honor, on Monday. West Indies Cricket Board Chief Executive Officer congratulated the 67-year-old for what he called a marvelous achievement. The CEO in a statement said that the award appropriately reflects the endless hours Morgan has spent promoting excellence in sports in Montserrat, not the least the great game of cricket. According to the statement, on behalf of the directors, management and staff of the WICB, we wish Basil unlimited success in the future. Morgan stood in 15 one-day international starting on April 6, 1996 with West Indies versus New Zealand in St. Vincent and concluding 5 years later with West Indies versus South Africa in Grenada. He was also the TV replay umpire in 4 tests. That's a wrap on sports. A recap of the headlines up next.
Hey, check it out.
When it gets cold, feels like the end. There's no place to go, you know I won't give in. No, I won't give in. Keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it.
Recapping the headlines making news, Barbados Secondary Teachers Union says teachers will no longer be marking SPAs unless CXC compensates them. A rise in employment in the Cayman, but non-Caymanians outnumbers the nationals. And Shagarama's Development Authority board member axed over Facebook posting. The question still is, did he or did he not make those postings? Remember, for the latest in news, sports and other regional developments, log on to whatsupcaribbean.com, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. This was a Carib Fire production. Thanks for joining us.